Alright guys, today we will watch this video by Nooks, so definitely go and check out his channel.
Hey everyone, this is my third attempt at writing this video. It's a tough story to tell and I wanted to make sure I shared it respectfully. I won't name the game, the company, or anything too specific due to NDAs. But
yeah, that's a good idea. Many video game industry companies take NDAs very seriously.
hopefully my story can help people by providing some insight on such an experience or help some coping with their own misfortune. You are not alone. So quick recap.
Yep, that's me.
I moved to Finland to kickstart my game dev career. I worked on several games at the university and learned a whole lot. All that was left before graduating was writing my bachelor thesis. That's when a job offer came up. A level designer trainee position for an adventure game that was already in early access on Steam. I had just successfully led a game for a big client and felt confident in my growing skills, so I applied and got the job. I was super excited. It was the first
Yeah, but that's already skipping maybe 100 steps before that for people who just started the industry, because some people still didn't learn, do not also have a bachelor degree. By the way, it's not very common in the industry to have bachelor degree in game development, because most of the universities that started teaching game dev were not there when the industry just started, and that's why most people were having computer degree. So yeah, that's also a good thing. And then applying for a company that already has a game on early access and then getting a lead position, as I think, and also getting not ghosted or no replies from the company, or just we were looking for better candidates, and getting the job. This is already skipping thousands of steps, but yeah, that's good in today's economy and the problems with job offers and people trying to applying for a job.
The game I would work on, so let's call it the mystery game. Tommy, is that the best you can do? Come on, carry it with your back. Look at Emma here, she's killing it.
Hell yeah!
But soon after joining, things turned out very differently than expected. The project was struggling, the direction was unclear, the team dynamics were off, and thus my job as a simple level designer trainee became surprisingly challenging. Let's just say I was handed a toolbox full of broken nails and bent hammers. At that point, I had two options. First, leave that sinking ship while I was still not too involved and go back to my thesis. I had nothing to lose, my pay was pretty modest, and working on this project was already a big headache. Second option, go all in, offer to rework the game completely as a game designer while salvaging what we
And a good, by the way, in my opinion, do the all in, because it is just some months to see if the game would succeed or not, or you could save the situation or not. And if it did not work out, you can just quit the job. In the end, you got a free experience in your CV for a couple of months of work, so that's a good thing for you. And if you could have saved the game, that would be a huge thing in your CV. So yeah,
could. And you know what?
He's about to do something stupid.
I went with the second option. It was a huge risk. I was new, still training.
yeah, and taking a huge risk when you just started your career and like business wise is not a bad thing, really. Taking it later when you are already established yourself in the market and stuff like that could be a bit devastating, or not a very good option. But when you just started, it's okay to take huge risks, if it's not like selling your house and making a video game, of course.
But somehow, I believed in the project's potential. And surprisingly, that bold move paid off, and that's how I became the project's lead game designer. I couldn't promise that it'd be an amazing game with the little time we had, but it would be a game, finished and released, and that would have to be enough. There started a huge shift. I still had serious concern from the red flags I perceived earlier, but I thought maybe I could turn things around. I redesigned the game from a new angle, inspired by one of my all-time favorites. A short hike. It's a small game with a tight scope, yet full of heart. Exactly what this project needed. It was a long grind. I totally forgot about my thesis at that point, but things started improving.
The problem with lead development, it's not about just knowing how to make a good video game, it's about being a politician. You need to know how politics. You need to convince people to do their job and make it good, and not just doing it for the cash or getting back home. You need to make speeches that like make them excited for the game, make quick bold decision. Look at leaders personalities, like even in fiction, like Irwin Smith and stuff like that. Look how they act usually. So a lead developer need to be political and having a very good leadership. I'm not talking about the soft skill which everyone is putting in their CV. I'm good at communicating and leadership stuff, but I'm talking about real leadership, which obviously it's a very hard skill to be a politician. And that's why there are politicians in real life, like managing countries. So yeah, a lead developer does not need just to tell people to make a good game. He need to have way more than that. That's why the lead developer of something is given after like you become a junior, then a developer, then a senior developer, then after that maybe a head of department, tech director, then sometimes it's lead developer, then tech director. It's different from one company to another, but yeah, so that's why it's very up there.
Momentum, the team was getting excited and hopeful again, and I was told by the boss himself I had saved the game. That was the ultimate honor, and I felt like my work was paying off. But eventually, cracks started appearing again, slowly at first, then faster. Mismanagement, boundary issues, more pressure on my already loaded shoulders, and suddenly, my university reached out. If I didn't finish my thesis ASAP, I would lose my study rights. Years of education and work gone. I had already delayed it several times for work, and now I kinda had no choice. Speedrun my thesis now or drop out from school, and that was not an option. Already full of stress, this felt like the cherry on the cake of my emotional distress.
Yeah, and it's okay. Many people face such moment of stress when they started working, and it's okay. It's just a couple of months. You can handle them, and after that, everything will return to normal. Hopefully, if you don't burn out yourself every month and do such stuff, take always big risks. So yeah, it's just a couple of months. You could handle it, and everything usually turns out well.
I let the team know, and we agreed that I'd step back to focus on finishing my studies. The plan was still that I would come back every now and then to help with more content design and implementation. I felt a bit guilty stepping away, but also quite relieved. The foundation was there, it was solid, the game was finally on track. I raced through my thesis and luckily got an ultimate time extension.
And that's the problem. Again, for a lead developer, just putting the foundation again is not enough, because you are more like a politician. You cannot just make a good system for the Parliament and then thinking they will, or the Congress or whatever, and thinking they will act for without like supervision. So it's something more complicated than putting rules, principles, or stuff, just like game design, level design, or art direction, or stuff like that. It's more of someone who needs to be at work contacting everyone for the complete pre-production and post-production support for the game when the game is released.
And I was ready to return on the project. I checked in with the team, and that's when I learned things had changed.
Where the is everyone?
Your typical industry shake-up, the kind you hear about way too often. Suddenly, I wasn't getting work anymore. No updates, no check-ins. I was still technically part of the company, but effectively I had been laid off without the label. I couldn't do anything but wait. Months passed. A year. I still hoped they would bring me back to help finish the game. I was even open to do it unpaid just to see it through. But radio silence.
So I do not understand. They still paid him and did not give him tasks to do. That's weird. That's awkward, to be honest. But who cares? Free money, I guess. But yeah, maybe if he cares about the game, that's bad. But I don't know.
It had been very hard on me. I felt like my efforts led nowhere. I didn't understand how, despite my saving the game, I couldn't even get as much as a message for almost a year. But I knew for a fact it was...
No, but that's weird. You need to contact the studio if they did not message you for even 3 days. You need to contact them either in person, a call, or multiple, maybe an email or something like that. You cannot just be not contacted, as I think he said, for a year or even a month without like supervision or some stuff from upper management.
It's hard for everyone involved that helped me dealing with this situation to know that I was not alone. Later, I finally got some news, and to my surprise, the game would release soon. They had slowly tried to wrap up whatever they could. I got some words of gratefulness, but I could still not come back in to finish things properly. Had been laid off for good. Finally, the game released. Seeing that game out and purchasable made me proud. I played it and finished it in one sitting with some friends, and well, it wasn't too bad. Just like I promised. Not amazing, but released. We did it. But then I saw the credits.
Oh! We're gonna see you?
Let's go!
Yeah, well,
I
that's
was also inviting. Hey.
Whoa! Hold on. This is finished.
But I was also like in content, like what?
You did everything. You might as well be. Oh, come on.
What the hell?
Is this a snob?
Yeah, what? Yeah, I was just in the middle of like design, even though I was the freaking lead game designer.
And you say,
well, I don't think that this is legal. Yeah, see, lead designer has and other lead producers, directors, and stuff has a special like block in the credits that they are mentioned in. You cannot just say voice actors or artists and then putting in them a director or a lead or like a head of management. That's illegal because actually the contract that you made with the company says your title in the like work, and if they like give you promotion, they need to have some also legal preparation for that. So you cannot just be working as a lead designer and your contract said you are a leader designer, and then they put you in like music or just design. They need to specify that in the credits, or other than that this is totally illegal to do.
it's the game. Oh,
Yeah.
you have to point that out now.
Yeah.
Send feedback.
But I mean,
You deserve that.
I didn't want to have to do that. Like, come on, like you guys know. Yeah. It's a little
Yeah, shame that
steam,
it leaves
but
it on a sour note, because otherwise
Yeah.
it's really nice, and it's you've done a really fantastic job, Ned. So
Yeah, exactly. I'm very proud. That was really cool.
thank you. I wish you all to have as supportive friends as this too. There I was mentioned, but not as a lead game designer. No trace of my level design direction work, on UX UI, on writing, of the months I had spent reworking the entire game. I think that's what hurt me the most in this whole experience, seeing that despite my best efforts to try and fix this project, I had been erased, like none of it mattered. I had been laid off, ghosted, and couldn't even be credited correctly. That was really disheartening. Luckily, I had asked earlier in the year to have my contributions of
By the way, the way you need to deal with companies, big companies or middle-sized companies, is to be cold and professional. For being friendly is okay with your co-workers, but with people that you directly influence, stuff like credits, HR, and stuff like that, being too much professional, being too cold with them when interacting, being so political when like dealing with them. I'm not meaning like talking in politics, not like trying to just state facts and legal stuff with them, not anything side talks or stuff like that, is the best thing to do, because like they say, oh, you need to move this glass of water from such a disk to another disk, and it's really not in your job description. Do not do that until they like, and I do not really mean a glass of water. You can of course move it if it annoys you or annoys the people in the room, but I mean if they asked for another job that's not your job, you need to ask to clarify that. Why was that not in the contract? Will I get something from doing that? If you were a lead developer, you need to have all the legal papers that says really that you are a lead developer. And if you have and they put you in the credits, contact the management or the HR, say I was a lead developer in the contract and now in the credits I am just a designer. Is that an error or something? Should I contact my lawyer or stuff like that? Just because these are not things to be played off, because maybe it's just a glitch, maybe it's just a bug, maybe the one who worked on the credits did not put you in the right label, maybe they really want to take your rights, to take the things that you really deserve, and you need to do and deal with that legally. But yeah, aside of that, it's not the worst experience I've ever heard of, if that's all of it, because I've heard way more like worst case, especially with freelancing.
Visually knowledge and writing. I wished I didn't have to, but I still reached out. Then the credits were updated to reflect my actual roles. That brought me some closure and thus ended this difficult chapter.
Yeah, just like I told you, I predict the future with that one.
Looking back on it today, yeah, it sucked, but somehow I still embraced that experience, as bittersweet as it may have been. I learned so much, it allowed me to push myself beyond what I thought I could do. I built something with all my heart and got to work with talented people. And I've got no hard feelings. I know it's been a rough experience for everyone involved, so I wish them the best now. I got out of it stronger and more excited than ever to see my own games come to life. After all my experiences from this past few years as a game dev, here are the 5 biggest lessons I wish I had learned earlier. Number 1. Choose your battles. Not everything is worth burning out over. Sometimes, the best move is to move on. Number 2, don't get too attached. Good games come from a place of passion, but it's still work. And if you're part of this corporate world, companies may not treat your passion with the same care you do. Number 3, management is key. Handling time, tasks, people, leadership makes or breaks a project. Even when working solo, be your own manager and plan your work and time off.
That's why as I always say, pre-production is one of the most important things to do for your game, because making a good GDD, a good plan for your game, save a lot of time, save a lot of budget, save a lot of headache in the future. Again and again, as we told you multiple times, you need to make a good solid GDD, a good solid plan for everything in your game.
Go for efficient but durable. Number 4, remember to have fun. If the joy is gone, something's off. Step back and reassess before it's
because it's a creative industry. If you are not enjoying a creative industry, then why are you here in the first place? It's not really the best job, best paying job ever. Most people really join these industries because they like it, not because of how much it pays them.
late. Either come back stronger with a new perspective or recognize it might not be for you. Many eventually do, and that's more than okay. And my final point, go indie and make small games. If you're really passionate about making...
Yeah, if you want to do that. Many people don't, and they've been working for years in the game industry. Some people don't like make indie games, some people don't like not working in teams, but most of people, yes, they do, and it's an amazing stuff. Of course, making a solo game alone gives you ton more experience than just working in a one role in a triple or a double A company, because you need to experience different stuff now, so you understand the business more. But of course, you also need to make very good indie games to have this expertise with working with big companies, because you can steal ideas. How did they do it in your own making of an indie game?
Games. You believe in your ideas and you're ready to give it your all? Go indie. Don't go burn your passion and energy for someone else's dreams. Go for your own. Opening a company and publishing a game has never been easier. Anyone can do it. So can you. Of course, the indie path is tough, but can be super rewarding, especially if you focus on a tight scope and sustainable goals. At least that's what I finally decided to go for. Before the release of the game, I had finished my thesis and finally graduated.
Yay!
That's good news.
So I went ahead and made the first step with my partner Hikari.
Yo.
And we just founded Kifinami Studio! Yay, it's
That's
us!
a nice logo and a name, by the way. Keep the paper texture for the graphic design. It's a nice idea.
We're finally making our own games, ones that you'll hopefully all enjoy.
But for our first game, we have to do some research. We're now a company, so let's do things seriously.
That's why...
We bought tickets to Japan!
Oh my
Okay.
god, really?
Yeah.
The place of many great indie studios. Nintendo, for example, is in Japan, as I think. Yeah, that's a good idea. Legal stuff in Japan is a bit better from many countries in Europe or USA in making video games, so that's a good thing for you. And yeah, you need to take it seriously. Opening a studio, you need to have some good legal background, good legal basis before you start making video games, because video games needs a lot of work on copyright law and stuff like that. Even if you hired people, you need a lawyer to make contracts and yeah, similar stuff.
So why Japan? Well, our game will be based on a unique part of Japanese culture that's rarely explored in games.
That's an amazing thing too, because if you are going to the place where your game story is based on, you can really know the culture and add stuff on the narrative design that no one else could do. And they do it, by the way, in very good productions. In cinematography, not very much done, to be honest, in video game design, but like in Viking, for example, they brought specialists to know what really types of building, swords and boats really the Viking in that era did. So that something happens in cinematography, and it's really, really great for like an amazing, astonishing narrative design.
We're heading straight to the source to do some proper field research.
And get some well-needed rest after these 4 years of game dev studies.
Whew,
Boy, I'm tired.
I'm too old.
Oh, but before we go, please like and subscribe. It helps us a ton, and we're super excited to share more about our little indie adventure with you.
Japan, here we come.
See you guys there.
And yeah, an amazing video by Nox. So definitely go and check out his channel and share with us what was the worst experiences in game dev that you had. To be honest, that's the experience that Nox said. Yeah, it's not a very amazing thing, but to me, I faced way more worst case scenarios, and I've heard some crazy stories, especially with people who worked in the freelance and video game industry. So yeah, definitely share with us your story, and thanks for watching, and see you in the next episode.